How's it going? Probably a bit better than I am. But, 2 secs. Great introduction. As I was driving today, I just had an epiphany or just an awakening. Because you all know that what my belief in, I'm a Christian. I explain in great detail the difference between a Christian and a religious person quite a lot, so you understand the difference about me, and those who know me understand, and I'm grateful to know my point of view, and not my point of view, is God's point of view, Jesus' point of view. I just follow. I was just, opposite to what man has created. Anyway, I don't blame a lot of people for not wanting to know God or Jesus and understand the Bible to its fullest because of religion, because of man. And there's a lot of things in this world, if you look at it, there's a lot of things that people don't like because of man. Man's created so many things out of selfishness and greed. But, that's the problem with the fact that sin is in this life, and you want to believe it. This is how I'm going to break it down for you, right? People have got the freedom of choice, right? And from day dot to now, man has made their own choice in multiple things. The problem with today, and in the past, a lot of times when they make the decisions, they're either doing it out of pride, ego, greed, selfishness, lust, whatever. They're not looking at what the repercussions are going to be, right? When you throw a rock in a pond, you're not expecting to be a massive chain reaction. After the first one, obviously, you'll see the ripple, but there's a ripple effect. Now, we don't know where that stone goes, how far it goes. It's the same with our choices. Now, when you start to understand that and fathom that, that's when you'll start to mature. It's taken me a little while. I've done a lot of stupid shit. Still do. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect, so I'm not judging you. But I'm saying, look, sometimes there's a time where we need to grow up and acknowledge these things. Now, I'm just trying to break things down and speed it up a bit because what I want to get at to, I'm looking at the way society is with this COVID thing. Now, you guys might say I'm crazy with my conspiracy theorist because you follow the whole agenda what the CIA call people that have critical thinking and use facts to acknowledge the wrongdoing of powerful people, which will turn that against us and label us as something as nuts. But anyway, to the point. A lot of people have been trying to wake up to the wrongdoings that are happening, and it's a lot of people starting to wake up, especially of the late. But the thing is, we wouldn't have to be going through all this if we followed some simple rules. Now, if we look back at us growing up as kids, anyone that's in their 30s, right, 40s, there was still Christian theology, what's the word, that's what I am, sorry, morals, values and stuff in the household, the family household, right? We, even though that sometimes our families didn't believe in it, I know a few, they still had that thought that their nana did, and they taught it to, someone had a recollection of what the Bible is and what it means, and, you don't want to do wrong in heaven and hell and so forth. It made people have a bit more of a conscious decision making when they're making a choice between right and wrong. Now, you got to go steal something from the shops, you think, I don't want to get caught. But when you do get caught and someone brings up something, God's going to be unhappy. That does play in your conscience. Not at first, I'm like, I don't care about God, but deep down thinking, people pondered on it more. It made people less likely to do things. We followed the laws that were in there, which was do not steal, do not murder, do not commit adultery. The 7 deadly sins: lust, greed, selfishness, pride, gluttony. We took those morals in a sense of fear of not to do things. Right? Hold on a sec, I've got my little one. You right? Okay, baby, you go to the toilet.
Turn the light on.
2 seconds, I'll pause, turn the light on. Alright, I'm back. Now, I I was driving past the shopping centre. This is where this all came to me. I'm trying to break it down that over time, since, say, the 90s, I think was the last time I've seen Christian values in the household and in people. It's the 2000s where all this stuff started coming in about a lot of stuff that which is definitely unrighteous, and you look at the way that at the moment how it's turned things and lifestyles, making people become their own god and self-righteous and new age movement and focusing on themselves, they're their own god. And hold on a second, hey baby, and okay, I'm back. Daddy duties. What was that? People become their own gods, and you know, we feel like we have no one to answer to. When you get to that type of thinking, in the end, you got free will. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying that with your decisions, there's going to be repercussions. Every decision we make has a repercussion, whether it's good or bad. And I just pray that that hopefully people realise and make the right decisions in the end. You know, I'd love to see everyone in heaven with me. But in the end, I'm not the judge. God is, but He's made it quite clear what we need to do to be able to go to heaven. So I'm just a tool. You know, I'm just a vessel. I'm just sharing what He's shared to me and everyone else that believes in Him. But anyway, where I was getting at with the our own gods and so forth, no one answer to. The thing is, we start to become lawless, right? Now, we've seen in many countries what happens when poverty hits, right? Riots, a lot of theft, murder, people running for homes. They do not care. Now, like, just imagine, like, they said there's going to be a great recession coming, right? And I believe there is. It's happening. It's going to be like Venezuela, Lebanon, France is going that way, Italy, Greece. The whole world's about to crash soon. The marketing, if you don't believe it, look up the markets. You know, it's not because I've just said it and someone else just said it. It's come down. No, look at the stocks, look at the markets, look at the banks, look at what is happening, and then come back to me and tell me I'm lying or I'm nuts. Anyway, we're going to come into a collapse. They're trying to push a digital currency, a one world currency, because it makes it a lot easier to rule everyone when everyone's following the rules. Does it sound familiar? So there'll be one world currency, which means they can control what we do, which means our mortgages, our fines, taxes. We won't be able to evade things. They'll be making sure. Now, you won't be able to buy, eat, or sell without this style of currency. And they're getting us used to this by mandatory things. Right? Think about it. It's training you. It's getting you in there. It's programming you. It's nurturing you into the system that they want to create. Now, when people disagree with that, and we're in a recession, what are people going to do? For one, I would, if I was living in the world, be run straight to the supermarket, wouldn't you? The supermarket's got plenty of stuff. Or if you want tools and stuff, you go to Bunnings. You know what I mean? It goes endless and things. Now, you look at these stores, they're constantly getting loaded with shipment. You know what I mean? It's going out the opposite way when we buy things. Now, when that comes to a halt, the only supplies that it's going to be in there is what's left in there. Now, imagine thousands of people hoarding these things, right? And then you get certain people who are greedy, or even gangs or crackheads, or just general people who have lost their minds, trying to camp out in these shopping centres. You got to grab something. They might stab you saying, no, that's mine. But you're just trying to feed your family. You know what I mean? You go in there, like people will say, no one else can come in. It's just people will start living in it. You know what I mean? Like, they'll come into your home, take whatever. What do? You have the military or whatever, but everything will be shooting each other. It's going to be anarchy, right? You might not think it now, but when it does, I want you to reflect on what I'm saying. But you'd be like, well, why would people be like this? Well, look at people now. You have people trying to stand up for your freedom, and you go on and go to them and call them nuts. You're crazy. You're going to make things worse. And I've said this plenty of times before, right? When the flu was... Everyone knew about the flu. You get the flu, right? I got the flu now. Right? How many of you still went to work? Honest question. Honest answer. I reckon a lot of you did. Unless you're like full man, flu, bed, stricken, whatever, you still make it because you need to make money, right? If bills can't be paid, money doesn't grow on trees, you still went. Flu can be one of the biggest killers, right? If your immune system's down, bam, it can hit you, especially the elderly, the newborns, those with chronic illnesses, you know? Now, I believe that's still going, but it's labelled as something else at the moment. But what I'm trying to get at is you went to work. You didn't care about your brothers and sisters that were at work. Were you wearing a mask? Were you hand sanitising every time? You probably went, to the whole cough and, excuse me, wash your hands while you ate. They're general practices that we do. We didn't go to the shops and buy out all this hand sanitizer so we can feel safe. And then just break our own immune system down so we've got nothing to rely on to keep us going, So we keep ourselves sick. Keep hyperventilating, keeping the same oxygen that's in us. And if we are crook, ain't getting rid of it. Inhale, exhale. The body is designed for that. It releases things through sweat, glands, all this. You don't have to be rocket science to figure this stuff out, right? But you get people that are paid to keep you believing so. Because they're all part of the agenda. But then you've got honest doctors and surgeons and so forth standing up and telling the truth. Now, like I said, there's something going on and it's being relabeled, right? And it's dangerous. The flu is dangerous. But it's not what they're saying it is. It's not some COVID thing come from China. It's the same thing. But what I'm trying to get at before is the sake that look how much we can drop everything and name a hat to something fear. Media portrays fear every single day. Look at your Facebook news channel. You're like, a lot of you comment, is this really news, Channel 7? Is this really news? Not even in our country. But they won't show you the amount of people in France protesting, in South Korea protesting, and just in the 16th of August. There's everywhere, people are getting sick of it. But they don't want you to see that. And then other people share it. That's probably nothing to do with us. It's probably their own government. No, each government, the UN has an Agenda 21, and a lot of countries have signed up to it. The only one that's signed to a UN yet is Australia, but look who's paid tithes to it. Turnbull, before he left, paid a lot of money to them. Let their foot in the door here. ScoMo's doing the same thing. Trump's the only one against them. Now, I'm not backing up Trump either. I feel that God can use anyone as his vessel. Do I think he's a full-on Christian man? No. He's using Christian values, but at the same time, he's going after some pretty bad people who do some pretty bad shit and they don't like it. But I'm trying to get to the point, right, is that in life, we have got rid of values which were given to us from day dot. And we exclude them because we want to live our own life. We want to do this. Yeah, we got free will, I want to do this. It's all fairly good, but when stuff goes crazy, who do you have to blame? And there's a problem with society. They don't like blaming themselves. No one likes to take acknowledgement for their faults. Strong people do. And you learn from it. There's one good thing, mate. Because you're never going to grow without it. You sit there and blame everyone and be a sucker victim all your life. But you can learn and grow and change, right? Acknowledge I've stuffed up. I've done stupid choices. And if I ever run into someone that I've hurt, I make sure that I can ask them to forgive me. I've got to move forward. I know God's forgiven me. But I still go that extra mile to show someone love, right? It's showing love. It's showing compassion. It's showing respect. Look at the children today. Do they have that? Stuck on this. And I'm just as bad, but I'm at the time trying to share wisdom and knowledge to you. And when I get frustrated and can't do anything, I'm like, bugger, I just share funny stuff. And you guys all love that. Because I get frustrated. And at most points, I feel like just deleting Facebook. But then a part of me thinks, well, if I had an opportunity to maybe wake up a few people and help direct them in life, and I can use this platform to do it, and I don't do it, and something goes wrong with them, am I going to feel guilty that I didn't do anything? Yeah. So this is why I do it, right? And at the same time, out of respect, I believe that I love you no matter who. I got taught to love the sinner, but not the sin. So just because you want to believe in something else, go for it, mate. You ask me a question about my faith and why I believe it, I'm going to share it. And if you disagree, that's cool. I'll have a discussion with you. I'll share why I disagree about that too. But it doesn't mean I don't like you. I love you, mate. Or sis, brother, whatever you are, mother. But the thing is, a lot of today, people just take to offence because it doesn't agree with what they want. You know how many times I've bit my tongue? And most times I get shitty off is when I know people and they lie to my face. But I've got to learn, mate, and these are things that God's working on me on. I've changed a shitload of things. My French is one thing I've got to work on too, which I'm trying. It's hard when you've lived a whole life of profanity, right? But those who know me, no, it's not a frequent thing that comes out of my tongue. Anyway, I'm working on me. And I try to show an example, right? I'm 4 years off the drugs. I'm not an alcoholic anymore. I don't go smash myself every single day. I do have a weakness though that I'm trying to work with myself because there's so many times where, because I'm alone a lot of the time, I can be around good company and it's so easy after a couple of beers, you enjoy yourself. I get to that level where I forget how many I've had and I'm having a great time and then I'm smashed. And then I'm paying for it and then I'm hating myself and then I'm praying for forgiveness because, yes, Jesus turned water into wine, but he said to not be a drunkard. You know what I mean? Be merry in the spirit with it. Have a good time, in the sense of being... I love it when he says, have a conscious decision making. If something's making where you can't make a right and wrong conscious decision making, but clear one, then that's when it becomes a sin, because that's when it can lead you into wrong things, right? Into bondage and stuck in things. And we're all going through a life where we're teaching ourselves things, or those who want to learn it. And I've noticed of late, a lot of times where people actually truly learn is when they hit rock bottom and they realise their way of life has been a load of crap and they hate themselves for it. But I don't want you to hate yourselves. Look at it as a lesson. You got an opportunity to turn your life around. I once was like that, I was just like, I might as well do myself in. And bless the Lord that I'm still here and I'm able to give this second chance a go by sharing this love and this knowledge back. Because I want to see us all there celebrating a life of peace with no misery, no suffering, no death, no illness. And I could go on and explain the questions, well, how come there's suffering, well, how come there's children get this, all that. And I can explain in great detail for you. But what I'm trying to get to right now is about the morals. We need to have these morals. The main one is loving thy neighbour. How many of you can do that, but I'm just got a grudge on them? Yeah, but you want God to love you, but you've got a grudge on them. You're in. Love them. You don't have to agree with them. Love them. Forgive them. Forgive yourself. Move on. You sit there wanting revenge, payback, or talk shit about them. What are you doing? You're just going to make it keep going. The spiral's never going to end. Oh, that's only just got to do with me and him or her. But then it goes and gets their family involved. You get your friends involved and it escalates. And then other people, it never ends. It doesn't just stay there. You can make up all the excuses under the sun, mate, but you take a responsibility. Now, this is why I'm concerned about my family and kids. I'm thinking, like, what do I do when this goes down? I kind of pray that the rapture happens and I'm taken up with my kids and I'm gone. I'm out of here. And I'm hoping those left behind remember everything I've taught them so they've got a second chance to get out. But it's got to be hell on earth. Literally. And, you thought the Holocaust was bad. Now, anyway, if I am here during this tribulation, this bad stuff, what do I do? I'm probably going to go out. And I'm just taking my family with me. If anyone wants to follow, so be it. But the thing is, I can see society going backwards and backwards. And in the end, they only have themselves to blame. All the problems that came to me, and sometimes they still keep coming. I can't sit there and get crappy about it. I go, well, there's the repercussion for my sin. That decision I made is its own punishment. You say karma. Well, actually, when you make a sinful action, there's a result to it, Whether it comes straight away, later, or after, it comes back. And it's bad. You call it karma because you don't want to believe in God. So you rather believe in some Hindi thing. But that's your choice. But sin is its own punishment. Right? And whether you don't want to look at it that way, whenever you make a bad decision, it's going to have an effect. So is good. So let's try focus on the good. Let's try focus on loving one another, compassion, caring, giving, instead of just wanting to receive all the time, or taking. Or see how I can, make money off someone else's bad, I've even looked at myself and I'm like, man, so many times I've tried to oversell something of value to someone. Now I sell it for the price I got, or a lot less, depending on the quality of it, or I just give it away. You know what I mean? But the thing is, it's just an example, but what I'm trying to get at is, we as humans need to realise that whether you believe in heaven, hell, God or not, crap's going to come and it's going to get hectic. Now, if you feel, I don't care because I'm just going to go to the ground, that's a pretty selfish attitude. And if that's your case, I suggest to go find a community living by yourself or with the rest of the people, because when there's people genuinely here that have families and they want to survive, they want to have happy days and go out the parks and do things, but they can't because stupid people like yourselves make the stupid decisions that leaves the rest of us suffering. You know what I mean? You kind of can't expect for bad crap to happen in your life and then blame everyone else because bad things happen because you're miserable. And that adds another thing to why you're miserable. Because you feel like you have no value in your life. And why do you have no value in life? Because you don't believe there's anything here or anything else. Well, how would it change if I believed in God? Well, God loves you. He's given you a purpose here on earth. And a lot of the reasons why people don't want to know about it because they won't read that book. And if you don't like reading, I know an audio app that can just read it to you. If you have any questions, I've always said I open my door. If you're hungry, come here, I'll feed you. You need somewhere to stay, I don't portray all the people I've helped, all the good things I've done, because, there's a saying, don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. So, but there's those that have come into my door that I've helped, and they know what I'm talking about, and they're grateful for me. And everything else of strangers I've helped. And I'm not doing this to try and get some brownie points, not at all, because we're not going to get saved by our works. But I'm hoping from what do I do, I'm going to show that bit of love and compassion to others that they may pay it forward. It was that beautiful movie, Pay It Forward. If you don't believe in God, at least watch that movie and get some morals in you. Right? I feel like I have to share this video. You can mock it, disagree with it, and you know what, that's your opinion. And I'm not going to devalue you on that. I'm still going to love you. You want to delete me on Facebook, I'm not going to be upset. I'd actually prefer that because, bitterness, I don't like hearing. And I'm still in a growth period. I'm only 4 years saved, and there's opportunity where sometimes I can react to it and I always ask forgiveness and apologise to the other person, but sometimes I don't want to hear it, so it's better to not say anything. But I'm passionate about what I believe in too, so I'm going to learn to keep it a key. But this video, I know it's a long one, but I needed to share it. I'm hoping people might get something out of it, and if not, so be it. I'm not going to judge you or not love you, but if anyone does want to understand a lot more, greater detail, what I'm trying to share, feel free to inbox me, message me. I do host courses here at home. I haven't had many people, but I have had people and I've had great effects from what I've shown them and taught them. And it's amazing to see the transformation in their lives, man. And look, doors open, like I said. I'm not a charity in the sense where I'm a bank, so I don't have money everywhere to give. I'm just getting by myself, paying off bills and everything like everyone else. But if I have the opportunity where I can give a hand, I will. Food, something I always cook. I put them in a chest freezer here. There's always plenty of food. If I can help there, But even a friend, go hang out. I wouldn't mind it. You know, I've got a couple of good friends that I see all the time, but at the same time they got family and they're busy, so I don't want to put pressure on them. You know, I've lost a lot of good friends because of the way that I've changed my life, and they prefer me to be the person how I was, you know, partying, getting drunk and on alcohol and drugs and sleeping around, and I don't want that life no more. I'm trying my hardest to stay away from that. And it saddens me that when you're making it better that close people just like that. So if you're one of those people, just say see you later. You know what I mean? Delete me, whatever, because I only want people in here that are there to lift each other up, including myself, and I'll do the same. And if I ever step over boundaries or toes, please let me know, and I'll be sure to ask for forgiveness and apologise. You know, there's no skin off my nose there. Like I said, you know, a lot of times we've got to acknowledge our faults and take ownership of it and find strength there. Anyway, God bless, peace, take it easy.